we find ourselves satisfied in certain circumstances. We find ourselves fitting into the circumstances which has brought by life. There is a man in John chapter 5, a lame man who was waiting at the pool of Bethesda. In John chapter 5, verse 2, now therefore in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In this lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred the water. Then whoever stepped into the first after the stirring of the water was made well by whatever disease he had. Now a certain man was there who had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" Jesus is literally asking the man who was waiting in the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. He can't move his body. When an angel comes to stir the water and everyone gets healed. But this man had no help for anyone to put him to the pool so that he can get healed. For 38 years he was waiting for the miracle. But when 38 years has passed, Jesus came to his life. And Jesus is asking a question. In verse 6, when Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he already had been there in that condition a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" When I was reading this passage, I thought about myself, what question is this? When Jesus saw her, he had been in this condition for many years. For many years he had been in this condition. That is not a valid question, but Jesus knew about people that when things get wrong, for it get passed for over years, we find ourselves getting fit in the certain conditions. In our lives also, we fit into certain circumstances, certain financial burdens, certain addictions, certain things that we are struggling to. When we find ourselves not breaking through the certain situations, we find ourselves fitting into the circumstances that we don't need the promises of God in our lives. Do you know what this man had replied? The sick man answered, verse 7, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." Immediately the man was made well, took up his bed and walked. That day was a Sabbath. Yes, when he literally wanted to be healed, Jesus saw his hunger and he was made well at that point. That point he knew that he need to get healed. He was healed. God is literally checking our hunger to be made well. Sometimes we fit into certain circumstances. Instead of attaining the promises of God, we find ourselves fitting into the promises, circumstances of our lives. We don't need to be well. But God is literally checking our hunger, that literally do we need that miracle in our life. God is asking you the same question today, that if you want to be healed, if you want that breakthrough, if you want that miracle, if you want that financial breakthrough, God is asking you, do you still need it? Today, if you are saying, "I need it," I am pressing through the circumstances, I am taking the next step of faith to made well, to get the healing, to get that breakthrough, God is gonna intervene in your life with certain blessings. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.